Hello, I'm Dale Leftwich. I'm at CropSphere. We've just had a consultation on the seed royalties program. I'm with Laura Ryder, Chair of Sask Wheat. How are you doing today, Laura?
I'm very good, thank you.
Laura, this meeting came about fairly quickly. It wasn't a meeting that was planned when they had the earlier meeting at the Saskatoon Inn around December the 4th. How come you were at the meeting on December 4th? How come it was decided then to have this meeting so quickly at this conference?
Well, a couple of reasons. First thing was we have this great opportunity where there's a large group of farmers. The meeting in December in Saskatoon was about 150 producers were able to come, and it was pretty clear that we wanted more information, and that after talking to that, there were lots of people that couldn't make it or didn't even know about it, didn't know what the topic was about even. So we were concerned that there wasn't enough producer participation in this, so we invited CFIA and Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada to come back. We were very happy that Carla was able to attend. Anthony Parker wasn't. He was available at the December meeting, but he had other arrangements, but Carla was willing to come, so we were pretty happy that the CropSphere committee was able to make use of the facility and extend the session. So that's how it came about a little quickly, so it wasn't even on the first set of agenda for CropSphere, but we thought it was worthwhile to do, and judging from the crowd that we had, I think that we made the right call.
Yeah, speaking of the crowd, I asked around, and they said that there were about 630 or so people registered for the conference, and I'm pretty sure that there were at least another 200 more people here in the room, because there was substantially more than there had been before, and people didn't have to register for the conference to come.
No, that's correct. It was we had it at the end. It was an open session. We were encouraging everybody to come. It was mentioned at all the AGMs that were held on Monday, where you don't have to register for CropSphere either. So everybody that has the crop commissions that have booths set up at Prairieland this week have also been mentioning it. So we were hoping to really get a crowd, and I was really happy with the room full.
So this is Carla St. Croix who was here. She was at the meeting in December. You were at the meeting in December as well. And so after that, like Sask Wheat put out a press release that said that you were not fully behind either of the two options that were presented. So now we have had this meeting. What was it that you wanted to achieve at this meeting?
We were hoping to get more information on both the models. We were also, there's some analysis and things that have been missing on this. The suggestion came from the Grains Roundtable, these two options, but the Roundtable asked for more analysis that they weren't able to do. And Ag Canada, Carla mentioned that they have the capacity to do that. So my understanding is that is in the works. We were kind of hoping they'd have some more, but they had more information for us than they did in the December meeting, so that's good. More information and just a better general awareness of what's going on were really the two things that we were looking for. So.
The two meetings actually were quite different. If you were to compare the two, how would you point out some of the things that sort of happened perhaps at this meeting that didn't happen at the other one, and vice versa?
Well, obviously this one was shorter context, so the presentation was much more condensed. I'm not sure how to compare and contrast them. There were things that were suggested or discussed at some of the other meetings that they have now considered and worked into the presentation. So, that kind of says that they're taking the feedback and they're considering it, and it may have been something that they hadn't thought of, or here's a whole list of things that she had a whole number of things on the one slide that were questions that still need to be answered, and they're aware they need to still be answered, where they didn't really indicate that to us in December. So I think there's progress. The other thing that's happened is the timeline has slowed down. In December, they were looking at being wrapped up through phase 1 by now, and they were going to be into phase 2, which was supposed to be an online consultation, and then they were hoping to kind of have this wrapped up by early spring. And it seems as though the timeline has slowed down, and they're willing to do more meetings like this, and they're looking for feedback. So the timeline doesn't seem to be quite as pushed. So, but that's just my interpretation. But that was kind of the feeling I got. So.
I think certainly the reaction of the farmers in the room was different this time than it was in Saskatoon. There was the questions seemed to be just a little bit deeper that where the farmers were able to ask. I mean, there was more information presented, so they were able to ask deeper questions. And what did you think about how the whole meeting went today?
I thought it was really good. I was really happy that it was respectful conversation. There was everybody was coming to the mic with a different point of view, because that's just the way farming is. You get 10 guys in a room, you're going to get 10 answers. But everybody had a different idea, but they were able to come to the mic and present it, and were comfortable enough to do that. And that's important. You don't want one person or one opinion to not come out because they don't feel comfortable coming to the mic, that they're going to get booed or whatever. There was applause after everyone came to the mic. Each time there was applause. I thought that was wonderful. It shows that we're willing to talk and listen to each other, which is a big deal.
Do you have any feelings about what should happen next in this process, or are you going to take this back to your board and consult on it?
We'll be taking it back to the board. We'll be discussing it. I'm not sure what exactly they have, the CFIA and Ag Canada have for their timeline, or what they think are the next steps. Obviously, if the online consultation takes place, we'll definitely be making a submission. What it contains, I'm not sure. We have to work on that. So it would depend also on what kind of questions they're looking for answers for on the online consultation. So we're definitely going to be involved in the next step, but I'm not, I don't know for sure what the next step is. So.
Well, I think you've started something. The earlier consultations were called the formal consultations. These are now called the informal consultations. This event, CropSphere, has happened, and now my understanding is that they intend to do a very similar kind of thing at Ag Days in Manitoba, in Brandon, coming up next week, and then the following week, I think, at Farm Tech, they're going to do another sim. So you've started something here.
It's great. It's important to get as many producers informed on what's going on, and I think that also the extra time that happened between the December meetings and now allowed people to have a little more information, and that helped with the lead-up questions. You came a little more prepared, so I think that's all constructive. So.
I just want to thank Laura Ryder for being with us here at RealAgriculture. Thanks a lot, Laura, for helping us out with this.
You're welcome, Dan.